So under agriculture investment, I think we had discussed till the point हर खेत को पानी है ना. So now you write next subheading. That's the last subheading under agriculture investment. Steps to be taken by the government. Steps to be taken by the government. So what kind of steps, what do you think that, what kind of steps we need to be taken to improve the agriculture investment? Because in the last class we had discussed that if we compare investment and subsidy, these are the two important expenditure of the government. So whenever the subsidies are higher in comparison to investment, it means these are not sustainable. These are just transitory. Transitory means for a certain time period. Whenever we think about investment, investment will reap the benefits in the long term. So whenever you will invest in certain kind of things, that will reap the benefit maybe 4 or 5 years later. So it depends that we've seen the data since 1980s, the capital formation started declining and the amount of subsidy has been rising. So what do you think about what kind of steps government needs to take to improve the agriculture investment? So first point you write, government should give more allocation. Government should give more allocation to the schemes like per drop more crop, because it is very important, for a resource scarce sector such as agriculture. So if you remember yesterday we had discussed that how much amount of water we are able to save under per drop more crop? 40%. So that is approximation, 40% approximately you can save the water in comparison to the other type of irrigation. Other type of irrigations like flood irrigation. This is the most popular in India. Take a next point you write. Center should provide more support to the states. Center should provide more supports to the states. And state government should be more transparent in agricultural policy, and should improve their governance. Now what do you think about, yesterday we had discussed about the things like green revolution started or increased the disparities among the farmers, among the regions as well. So what do you think, what we can do about some different productivity in different regions? What is the solution to that?
So diversification of crops usually.
Diversification of crop, it means whenever we think about from the fund allocation purpose, that should be differential for different states. It means funds should not be allocated on the basis of equality, but on the basis of equity. So you write this one. Funds should be allocated with a differential focus on different regions. Such as eastern and northeastern India. Are lagged behind from green revolution. Free from green revolution. In bracket you write except there's one state, there's an exception. Which one? West Bengal. So except West Bengal, all the eastern and northeastern regions were lagged behind from the process of green revolution. Now what about if we talk about funds, water, now comes electricity. So you know that there is a shortage of electricity all over the country. We do not have 24/7 power supply. That's what government is aiming by the year 2022, that we should provide at least uninterrupted power supply to all the regions in the country. That is why we are focusing on new and renewable energy sources. Like by the year 2022, we have to achieve 175 gigawatts of renewable source of energy. It means non-conventional, like solar energy. What is the target for solar energy by 2022? No, that is the total. 100 gigawatt. This is the target to achieve by 2022. Do you know the current scenario? Currently we are having how much gigawatts? Approximately 20. So 20 plus. So what do you think about this target? Will it be a reality or not? It can, because the process is very fast. Government is achieving targets every year, targets quite rapidly. So we can say that this is the realistic target. But apart from this 100 gigawatts, remaining 75 gigawatts remaining on small hydro, wind, etc. That is a questionable. But here, this is hopeful that we can achieve this target. Okay. Now we'll write next topic, that is agriculture R&D. Next heading. First one was agriculture investment. Second is agriculture research and development. Third, we'll discuss agriculture credit. Then we'll discuss agriculture marketing. So, as I told you earlier, from backward linkages to forward linkages. Now, what do you understand by research and development? It means finding new ways to sow the crop, finding new ways to grow the crop, to increase the productivity of the agriculture sector. That is the meaning of research. High yield variety seeds are the results of research and development. So we think about research and development in India. Which body takes the responsibility of research and development in India related to agriculture sector? ICAR. What is the full form? Indian Council for Agriculture Research. The chair of this ICAR is Ashok Gulati. So is the chair of ICAR, Ashok Gulati. Okay. And why research and development is important? There's another term called research, development and extension. Extension means whenever you have completed the research and development, how will you extend it to the other parts of the country and other sectors of that particular region. Here we can say extension means adopting these particular new tools in order to implement in the agriculture sector. So we'll write few lines regarding agriculture research and development. Then we'll discuss the next point. So write focus on developing modern inputs, the focus on developing modern inputs like seeds, fertilizers is very much directly related to research and development. First up, R&D focuses on new dimensions of new dimensions of production method, new dimensions of production method to adopt the modern farming, techniques. First up, in India, R&D undertakes by a body known as Indian Council for Agricultural Research. Indian Council for Agricultural Research. Now, if we talk about agriculture sector, the R&D is less than 1% of agri GDP. So the amount of investment done by the government is very less. If we compare these data with other developed countries like South Korea, etc., they're investing around 6 to 7% of GDP. But in India, it is less than 1%. So obviously, high yield variety seed is not the invention of India. We have adopted that technique from Mexico and for later on for rice from Philippines. So it means we need some kind of innovation to improve our productivity. So here you write this line. In India, R&D is less than 1%. R&D is less than 1% of agri GDP. Which is quite low in comparison to other countries such as South Korea, where it is 6%. Now, what do you think that if you have done certain kind of research and development, what should be followed by this R&D? It means whenever you have adopted certain new methods of production, then you should give some kind of demonstration to the farmers. Otherwise, farmers will not adopt these certain kind of things. Because when you go to rural areas, farmers are reluctant to adopt any new particular methods of farming. So first you have to demonstrate or maybe give some kind of training to use these new modern inputs. Like for example, in 1966, what happened when we adopted modern inputs? Then there was the role of the government to give demonstration, to give training to these particular farmers so that they will adopt modern machineries like pesticides, fertilizer used for the very first time extensively throughout the country. That is why we need certain kind of demonstration and training. Like in the recent example, soil health card. If you remember, soil health card is the innovation. So first you should give training that how to measure the soil health to the farmers. Suppose you are there's an app called eRakam, where a payment gateway where farmer receives direct payment into their account. So first you go to the farmers, demonstrate that like this, you will receive your payment directly into the bank account. Then they will do it. So first you have to teach them. So you write this line. Research and development should be followed by proper demonstration of research and training to the farmers because without R&D it is very difficult to increase agricultural productivity. First up, in the recent times R&D is very important in the recent time. R&D is very important because our country is experiencing shrinking of agricultural land, because day by day land under agriculture is getting narrower and narrower. Now if we compare India with other countries, it means other countries are doing research and development. If our country will not adopt new techniques, what will be the effect on exports and imports? India will lose competitiveness in the world market, and Indian agriculture has to fight with cheap imports, because some country, if they are producing some kind of food grains with new adopted techniques, it means their cost of production will go down. What's the benefit of R&D? It means suppose you are producing at 1,000 rupees 10 kg of wheat. Suppose this is the ratio. With the help of research and development, with the same 1,000 rupees, you are able to produce 12 kg. Or with the same output, you are able to reduce the cost of it. That is the benefit. There are two-way strategy. Either you will produce the same amount of goods with the reduction in the cost, or with the same cost, you are able to improve a bit. This is the benefit. So in both the cases, India will lose competitiveness and Indian agriculture has to fight with cheap imports. So we write this line. Research and development is vital. Research and development is vital because India is fighting with the cheap imports coming from abroad. India is fighting from the cheap imports coming from abroad, as well as in the export front, as well as on the export front. India will lose the competitiveness in the world market. India will lose competitiveness in the world market with less R&D, with less focus on R&D, with less focus on R&D. Okay. Now, if we talk about what are the things we need to do to improve the research and development? Can you tell me anything? Any suggestions to improve raising funds? So you write this first point. Government should give more funds to ICAR. Government should give more funds to ICAR. Any idea? Second.
What should be innovated from the universities to these researchers?
So obviously, if you give more funds, like for example, if you ever heard about JRF, Junior Research Fellowship, if you've done your post-graduation in that subject, there is one examination called National Eligibility Test, and for that you will be given a scholarship of monthly 30,000 rupees, 25,000 monthly, and lump sum amount yearly 30,000. So it means 2.5 lakh or maybe 2.8 lakh rupees per annum. So if we give these kind of initiatives to the students, then students will be attracted towards research in our country. because this fund recently raised. Before that, the fund available was 8,000 per month. So in 8,000 per month, it is very difficult to stay and research because it requires some kind of investment on books, techniques, questionnaires, traveling costs, etc. So government should provide more scholarship to the students so that this research work becomes a remunerative business or a remunerative job for the students. Getting my point? So give more funds, that's it. Second, you write, government should provide more opportunities for scholarship in agriculture. More scholarship for agriculture. First stop. Next point. Research and extension. Research and extension should be the responsibility of research and extension should be the responsibility of state governments. Why state government? Why not center? Agriculture is a state subject. So this completes this heading of this topic, agriculture research and development. Very short topic.